Have you ever heard of a thing called shit test? We talk about that a lot on the podcast, right? Women shit testing. Women also do things called comfort tests, right? They do things called comfort tests. I like to look at them as pretty similar in nature, just differing in degree, right? But women will test your frame. They'll test your mental frame. You can also, I've heard shit tests referred to as frame checks before as well. It's the same thing. She's testing your frame when she does the shit test, and that's the first step in the betatization process. Is what the free ebook talks about. But women will test your mental frame, not because they hate you, not because they're trying to be not because they're trying to be disagreeable and annoying, but because they want to feel your strength. They want to know that you are the strong, masculine man that they hope and think that you are. And they just want to make sure of it, right? It's a survival mechanism that they've developed over thousands of years of evolutionary, biology, right? Biology and psychology, right? So they'll test you to make sure that you can handle life's crap. Because if you can't handle her crap, how are you going to handle all the stresses that life has to throw at you guys? And if you are the one that's supposed to set the tone and lead a relationship, how can she trust that leadership if you just crumble under pressure, right? Especially a young, frail woman's pressure. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you're 210 and 210 pounds. She's a buck 40, and you can't handle what she throws at you. How are you going to handle what life throws at you? Okay. That's why they test you, right? They don't do it to be crappy, right? But men, they start failing these types of things, and they end up operating in her frame, which she doesn't want, and they start saying all this kind of stuff, I love you, or they overuse I love you in an attempt to sort of over validate, right? They eventually become emotionally codependent on this woman, right? This is why a lot of guys zero out after a breakup. A lot of guys after a divorce or a breakup will unalive themselves. They get so emotionally hooked on this woman and seeking that validation, and they need to know that she loves them. That's why words of affirmation are always one of men's top two love languages, is because they are craving that validation and they become codependent on the woman. You understand the trap here? And the power dynamic shift when you're always trying to prove your love to her. And you're saying I love you all the time because you're trying to prove it to her. You've put her on a pedestal, and now you're trying to let her know hey, I love you. I just want you to know I love you, so that you keep giving me pats on the head and I'm a good boy. And I know guys are watching this get pissed off. I don't tell her that. I tell her that because I genuinely love her. She's the love of my life. Like, bro, that might be how you think about it, but that's not how it comes across. Okay. Now she's you've put her up on a pedestal, and now she's looking down on you, and now you're giving her the ick. Okay. Let me talk about how I've messed up in the past. And some of you guys have heard this story. I've talked about it on Rule Zero before, and it's real fun to talk about this on Rule Zero, because the boys on Rule Zero will be relentless in giving me crap about it. Okay, but I'm telling you this as a cautionary tale of something that I used to do, and it ended up being meaningless at the end of the day, and it was a monumental waste of money, really, really, right? But let me talk about my relationship with Red Pill Chick. When I got into my relationship with Red Pill Chick, I was doing this. I was over validating. I was saying I love you way too much. And on top of that, the biggest thing that I was doing, which was a big problem, was I was sending her flowers every month, right? Like, like the simpness of it makes me sick to this day. Right. But I would send that woman flowers every month. And on top of that, I would make sure that I would send it in the middle of the workday to her office, because what I wanted was all the other women in the office to be jealous of her, that she's always getting flowers. And it totally worked against me. Right. I started sending that every month. It became meaningless. She started almost like expecting it, and she didn't value it at all. It ended up meaning nothing, especially the last 2 years of the relationship, when she was mentally checked out and she was looking for her male orbiters. Right. Oh, I was sending the flowers, but it was like, it was almost like it annoyed her by that point. You understand? And I was still professing my love for her and hoping I would get those good boy brownie points like, hey, don't you see I'm a good boy here? I'm the perfect boyfriend. Aren't I the perfect boyfriend? I'm sending you flowers. Doesn't that mean I'm the perfect boyfriend? It is all a covert contract. It's meaningless at the end of the day. I'm doing it to get something, trying to get those brownie points. I'm trying to get that validation. It wasn't because she was actually doing anything. In fact, she was doing less and less and less, and I was giving more and more and more. And it became a completely imbalanced relationship. She lost attraction for me, and she ended up cheating on me at the end, right? So I'm telling you, it's not helping you as much as you think it's helping you. And you aren't, and when you're doing this kind of stuff, women aren't rejecting you because you're not lovable or you're not worthy of love, right? You're rejected because you're out of alignment with your masculine polarity. All right. I want you to think about this. Okay. You have to understand this from an evolutionary psychology perspective. Men's sexual strategy, whether you're exercising this strategy or not, men's evolutionary sexual strategy, right, is unlimited access to unlimited, right? We are built to spread our seeds far and wide. We're built for that. You can have sex with multiple women in a day and get multiple women pregnant in a day. We're built for that. Whether you exercise it or not is different. It's the same thing with women's sexual strategy, which is hypergamy. Whether they're actively exercising it by trying to trade up all the time is it's totally different because a lot of women aren't exercising it, right? They can hold it in check just as we can hold it in check, right? But women's sexual strategy is to consolidate on her best possible option. And she wants him to not only be sexually attractive, but a provider and protector for her offspring. All right. So our sexual strategy is to have a harem of women. If we can swing it, have a harem of women, get a bunch of chicks pregnant. Women's strategy is consolidate on the best guy possible because I can only get pregnant one time, like once at a time. And then I'm on the hook for the next 18 years at least. So if you're supposed to be the one who is wild and trying to bang everything that moves, it comes across at a subconscious level as weird that you are saying, I love you a lot and pushing to keep this monogamy thing together. It goes against what you were built for. Okay. It goes against what you were evolutionarily built for. And Puck, if you guys have not read the book of Puck, I have a whole series on my YouTube channel. Go and check out my playlists. I have a Book of Puck series that I did. So you don't have to read the book if you don't want. I highly recommend you read it and then go through that series because I add a lot of value to it, like my sort of thoughts and stuff like that. But read the Book of Puck. It's one of the must-read books in the red pill space. But Puck said it best. It's like watching a wild bird fly into a cage and having it ask to be locked up. Okay. It would strike most people as odd that that bird was doing that sort of, right? Well, your woman's hindbrain sees your overinvestment as odd at the same level. And then she starts pushing you away a little bit, right? She starts wanting to create a little distance in the relationship because you're chasing her too much. So your masculine energy needs to stay sort of lovingly detached. Okay. It needs to stay lovingly detached and let her come to you in her own time. And when she does, saying I love you is a reward for her good behavior, for her wanting to put that investment in on you. Okay. Paul, I don't like this, man. My mom told me, to say, I love you all the time. Don't listen to what women say. Okay. Watch what they respond to. I'm telling you guys, I know it's hard to break these habits. I know it goes against what society says to do, but that's why my works and why like books like The Love Languages haven't saved a single marriage since they've gone to publication back in the early 90s. Okay. And on that note, guys, get in Beer Club, beer.comeonmanpod.com. It's an excellent group of guys. We have over 50 guys in there. They're in there swapping notes. They're leveling up. They're getting better with women on a daily basis. We got guys in there losing weight. We got guys curing themselves of major medical problems just by getting in shape and doing the work. We got guys in there at all levels of relationships. We've got guys that are in successful LTRs. We have guys that are post-divorce. They're all in there swapping notes and leveling up and getting better with women. And on top of that, I am going to start doing a monthly private lecture for the Beer Club. The first one is tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time. It's going to be for Beer Club only. Brother Mike Steele in Beer Club asked for a lecture on wealth building. He wants to know how do I get some more of that green stuff, right? So I'm going to go through a whole lecture on not just basic money management, but on how you can start actually bringing in more of that money. Okay. And it's going to be a lot of the stuff you've never heard before. I just went to a 3-day immersion event up in Toronto with my coach, Nikki, who's a multimillionaire. And he was talking about how to scale businesses and various ways of doing that. And some of the stuff he taught me, I've never heard anywhere else. And so I was like, holy crap, like this is ridiculously like sort of simple, but most people don't know this because we're taught to be cogs in a wheel. We're taught to trade our time for money. So in some of the guys at Beer Club were talking about that. They're like, okay, so what are we doing? We're borrowing money and buying real estate? No, right? I'll touch on that a little bit, but that's not what I'm talking about, right? That's not what I'm talking about at all. I guarantee it's that you've never heard before. If you want to make more money, you want to get better with money, because you got to get, if you want to be the whole package for women, you got to work on your money, muscles, game, and frame. Shout out to MLD. Money's got to be something that you're proficient with and that you have on lock, right? And it's not for them, and it's not so you can lavish women with money. It's not so you can buy her flowers every month, right? It's so that you have financial freedom in a stable sort of future where you don't have to worry about stuff, right? Like yesterday, for instance, I just had to I jacked up my knee. If you guys didn't know, I jacked up my knee a couple of weeks ago, and I had to pre-register for an MRI appointment. Well, I haven't met my deductible yet, so it's going to cost me $1,000 out of pocket to go and get my MRI scanned, right? A lot of people would freak out about that. Holy shit, $1,000. I don't have $1,000 laying around. I do. I got plenty of money laying around because I've been smart with my money. I've learned how to manage my money for years. I'm really good with money. It's not something I talk about on the podcast a lot, but if you're in Beer Club, that is something that we talk about. We talk about stuff like that in our, we also have monthly hangouts. Like we talk about that stuff on monthly hangouts. We talk about that kind of stuff in the chat. And then tomorrow I'm going to give you guys a whole entire valuable lecture on that, but it's only for Beer Club members. So get in Beer Club now. There's a free trial with it too. So you can sign up now, get in the group, see if you like it or not, hang out for the pod class tomorrow. And then if you don't like it, all right, no harm, no foul, right? And then you won't get charged. But I guarantee once you get in that group and you start working with the guys, you start participating, you start leveling up in life, I'm giving you a hell of a deal with Beer Club. It's only $10 a month, man. You will find no other place where you get so much value for so little. And then guys, you can work with me. You can book a call one-on-one with me. Go to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com if you want to work on your relationship, getting out of a dead bedroom. I've got a book coming out here in June, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I have we won't actually talk about that today, but I have a book coming out in June called Forget That Red Pill Guide to Breakup. So if you are trying to get through the breakup process and you're having a hard time with that, you can book a call with me for that now too. Okay. Go to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com. But I require people to read my books first, just so that they know what I'm about. So we're not wasting each other's time. If I have to convince you to work with me, we're wasting each other's time. Okay. I'm not going to convince you to work with me. You either know you need more help with this stuff and you're already doing the work, or you don't, right? But I'm not going to sell you on it. I'm not here for sales. I'm here to help men.
New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Subscribe now.